and thanks for tuning in. As always, this is Reverend JR, and this is going to be the second installment in the SOCIOECONOMICS series, the response to Thought Slime. If you missed part 1, go back and watch it.
Let us assume that without his big business brain, nobody on Earth would have thought to make a website where people can buy things.
That's a dangerous assumption you got there. Also, eBay was founded the same year. Also, Amazon didn't post a profit for about 10 years after it was created. That took some skill.
Well, Amazon has about 540,000 employees. Wow, that makes it the 10th largest job provider on Earth.
So Jeff founded one of the largest businesses on Earth. That is pretty neat. Have you done that yet? Neither have I. It's almost like your worth and my worth are somewhat less than his.
Neat. That's a bit more than 500,000 people Jeff has fed by amassing his fortune.
No, you misunderstand. Jeff has not fed those people. Amazon pays its employees to perform a function, which in turn generates revenue for Amazon. Revenues they wouldn't have if they didn't hire employees, or if you shopped elsewhere. Amazon paid Jeff what they did because he managed those 500,000 people efficiently and kept them employed. Amazon could have paid someone else to do it, but for some reason they see the money they're giving him as having more value than paying someone else to do his job. Remember, Jeff got that position because he is, in fact, incredibly good at what he does.
As opposed to the 800 million people that wealth could feed for 3.5 years.
Jeff is not Amazon. Jeff doesn't, sign their checks. Jeff is their CEO. Jeff is not the CEO of the 8 million people you are talking about. Let's go that route, though. Jeff could have given every last cent and liquidated every last asset he has. He could have used that to feed 8 million people for 3 years. I mean, it is his wealth. He can do whatever he wants with it. Same as you. That's 24 million people years of food. Amazon has employed about 1.64 million people years in the past 10, and nearly half of that is in the past year. Even if Amazon levels off right now and employs only around 500,000 a year, that's only another 48 years before Amazon has employed as many people years as Jeff could feed by going bankrupt in 3. But again, this is his wealth we're talking about, not just the, liquid money that he has access to. Again, what happens to those 8 million people on the 4th year? Is your plan just to eliminate the richest few percent over perhaps a couple decades, and then let the 8 million become half the planet?
Now, I don't know, maybe the average Amazon employee works at Amazon for 5,600 years and it all evens out.
Where are you pulling this number from? Again, Jeff is not responsible for the 500,000 people Amazon employs in this regard. His wealth is his own, just as yours is your own. Don't forget, the money you spent on that DVD in the first half of this video could feed some of the poorest people in the world for a couple of years. It's more than a month's income for those people in the highest poverty areas. Why will you ask Jeff to give up literally everything when you won't even pass on a DVD to feed a couple of those few million?
But what seems more likely to me is that this investment in Jeff that society is forced to pay...
Oh no, you didn't. No one is forced to use Amazon. You choose to use Amazon. You even said so yourself. Jeff isn't paid out of my taxes. Jeff is paid by the dollars you spend on Amazon. You sit here and have the nerve to insist that someone is forcing you to pay Jeff's salary. You could have used it for eBay, for that DVD, and got it secondhand for half the price or less. You could have found a version of it on YouTube, or even watched it on Vudu for free. You could have put that money you spent on the DVD towards those same hungry people. Again, why do you demand other people do what you will not? If you want someone else to go for broke, why not do it first yourself?
is what business nerds like to call a bad return on investment.
No, you daft prick. That's not how ROI works. Jeff created a startup which was incredibly successful, and which led to what is effectively an entirely new market as of about 20 years ago. He is responsible for creating over 500,000 jobs in that time span as well, while other companies are popping off left and right. Amazon survived the bubble. Amazon convinced you to keep using it. Amazon continues to innovate and grow into new markets, all because Jeff is a brilliant innovator who did something that no one else has been able to do. However, none of this has anything to do with the point, which is that Jeff can spend his wealth in whatever way he sees fit. No one is forcing you to pay for Jeff. Society is not forced to pay anything for him. But his return on investment is 500,000 stable, secure jobs. His ROI is founding one of the most successful companies in the entire world, and innovating all manner of markets to be compatible with the humans that use them. I mean, they even offer full benefits starting day one for their employees, and decent pay rates on the jobs they have listed it for.
And it's not that I think that the bees man shouldn't be rewarded for creating a very fine website.
The website isn't the only thing he's created, and pretending it is just makes you look like an idiot.
Heck, I use a lot of Amazon services.
Why? If you think Amazon should be spending its money different, why do you support it? Oh, I really hate that people take my money in exchange for a service, but then don't do what I want with the money. You do realize after it leaves your hand, it's not your money, right? You do realize you could have spent your dollars directly on the thing you're complaining about, right? You could have bought food for those people instead of buying a DVD, and then complaining that the money, which is no longer yours, is being spent how you want, right? How can I make this any clearer?
And I'm practically married to my Kindle, which I kiss each and every day.
Again, you do realize that you didn't have to purchase Kindle with your money, right? You could have gotten the app on your phone. You could have gone to one of those big brick buildings that holds a ton of books. Libraries, I think they're called. The point is, why do you continue to give Jeff and his company money if you think he's already got enough? Why do you care how he spends his money? You aren't paying him to be philanthropic. You're paying his company to deliver goods to you. Again, once it leaves your hand, it's no longer your money. Also, I don't really care what you're doing with your toys. You are taking the term technophile entirely too literally.
I'm not saying what he's done hasn't helped make something useful, convenient, which does a lot of good for a lot of people.
So, he's not doing anything wrong. Got it.
And sure, maybe he invests lots of his money into projects that create more cool stuff.
Maybe he even invests some of it into keeping your Kindle running and warrantying it if it breaks, and giving you customer support, and ensuring the packages he delivers to you. Maybe he spends it all on overpriced coffee at some hipster barista's man cave espresso bar. The point is, it's his wealth. You do not have any moral or ethical right to demand he do anything different with it. You do have an ethical responsibility to not support people you don't philanthropically agree with in this regard. I mean, if you want small businesses to flourish, then you have to use them. If you want to attempt to end hunger in the world with money, then you gotta throw your money at it. Again, I don't think it's a simple issue of money in, hunger elimination out.
Maybe he gives a small percentage to charity.
Do you give a small percentage to charity? Again, if you don't, then what's your complaint? Do you even volunteer at local nonprofits, soup kitchens, shelters, or whatever? Do you organize fundraisers to help the less fortunate in your area? Or in those areas you think Jeff should give his wealth to?
And that small percentage is an enormous amount of money.
It's also not yours.
Maybe he is truly the best and smartest person on the planet financially.
Again, it has no bearing on the conversation. This is the weirdest ad hominem sort of attack I think I've seen in a while.
And his use of his fortune is more productive than whatever you or I or anyone else on Earth would do with it.
Again, he doesn't have any obligation to do any of that, though. You continue to support the company that supports him. Quit doing that if you think he isn't meeting the social obligations that are important to you. Put your money where your mouth is. Invest it in the change you want instead of the e-reader you don't need.
That could be true. It's possible. I mean, it's 1 in 7.5 billion odds, but it's possible.
I don't think he could virtue signal any harder if he were doing so in semaphore.
Or maybe, just maybe, the smartest and most financially brilliant person on the planet is one of the people who didn't get to eat because our financial system prioritizes putting another zero on Jeff's bank statement.
Or maybe, just maybe, you should quit prioritizing giving Jeff's company your money over giving every last bit of your wealth to those same people, and then feeling self-righteous in your consternating hypocrisy. I realize this isn't a religious response, but I'm reminded of the story of the widow's mite, for some reason.
Maybe they would have produced something better than Jeff if they had the chance.
Maybe if you had given that $26 to a starving person in Africa, instead of giving Jeff's company the money in exchange for a DVD being delivered to you, your money would have fed that person, and then you'd really have the upper hand on Jeff. One Kindle is roughly 4 months' gross national income per capita in Malawi, after all. You said you use several of Jeff's company's services. You could literally have fed entire families in Malawi for those same 3 years.
Maybe one of the 1 in 9 people who is food insecure right now could have been the next Jeff Bezos.
Maybe, but we're not going to find out if you keep giving all your money to Jeff instead of those people.
Or the next Joseph Lister or Sir Isaac Newton if they'd only had the chance.
Yeah, but there's also a pretty good chance that most of them wouldn't. And at least a few of them would become the next Jake Paul or Lindsay Lohan or Enron executive. So I mean, do you want Jeff to be responsible for even more of those kind of people too? See how this works? You make a crappy analogy, and I'll show you why.
It really doesn't matter if you have the best brain on earth for theoretical physics, medicine, or computer programming,
or for embezzling money, or gang violence, or thievery, or corruption.
If you never get to develop or even discover that aptitude because you spent your entire life toiling away in a sweatshop, sold into sex slavery, or slowly dying from starvation.
Yes, I agree. All those things are bad, and someone else's money isn't going to fix it. If anything, blindly throwing more money at those problems will make them considerably worse, not better. Do you think corruption would just magically go away if some rich dude suddenly dumped $30 billion into the poorest economies in the world? What we actually need is the next Jeff Bezos of those issues.
Who knows what kind of technological marvels we could be living with right now if everyone on Earth was fed, housed, and had access to education.
So you mean to tell me, here in America, or most of the developed world, we have absolutely no problems because everyone has food, clothing, and shelter? No problems at all. We solved poverty and hunger and corruption, did we? The majority of people who aren't hungry live in houses and have clothing. They're all amazing innovators, aren't they?
My toilet costs more to your rent.
Do you see the problem with your analogy yet? Anyway, that's where we're gonna break this off for today. If you enjoyed that, please click the thumbs up. If not, you know what to do. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. And share this video like you're trying to eradicate world poverty with someone else's money. If you want to know how to get your name up here, check out my Patreon. $1 a month gets me that much closer to doing this full time. I might also have a new patron level for you to check out. And as always, this has been Reverend JR, signing off.